Hello, everyone. Welcome to another discussion of the stories from the week. Korvoth here, and with me, as always, is Lothrin. Hello, Lothrin. Are you ready for another discussion?
Hello again. Why are you saying hello to me? We spent all day together. But anyway, Korvoth, what did you think of Cam's exchange with the Zir? How it turned out?
I was doing a bit for the episode, Lothrin. Stay in line, work with me here. It keeps it entertaining. All right, okay. Oh man. If Cam didn't have trike, see, I'm moving on. I'm just moving on. He would have died, and that would have been that, or like even worse stuff than dying. Ugh, the Zira bad. And then the ordeal is clearly affecting him. It's altered the way he thinks, and he's all weak and fragile from the infection, and it's taking time to recover. Oh man, it's pretty bad.
You're the best. Yes, there are no good encounters with Zir. Cam will likely be wearing the scars of his trial on Strife 1 for quite some time. But don't think for a second Cam's not working as much as he can while he's stuck in that chair of his.
What is with that chair that he's building with Mara? Like they're spending all their time on it. And please don't mention anything about their romance. Yuck. Ugh. Please.
Well, Cam is in a different situation, so he's doing what he always does, finding problems and then solving them. But now that he has a fresh perspective, he's using that insight to help himself and a large number of other former soldiers on his base and under his care to become mobile again, useful once more.
So, I think I got it. I think Cam was building legs, right? Like legs to connect to the chair. It's supposed to be a walking chair. Like the chair walks for you. It moves as if it's a spider or a bug or something. Yep, just nod to me, Lothrin. There's no way that, no one listening can hear your response now, and then they'll be in the dark forever. Okay, moving on. Sometimes you're funny, Lothrin. So why doesn't Cam just build a wheelchair? Wouldn't that be a lot more effective? Like, wouldn't they already have wheelchairs?
Excuse me. Well, even if Cam did that, the base is designed in a very military, compartmentalized fashion. Each section of hall and every room has its own bulkhead. Like in that sub-movie we watched last week. You remember that, right?
Ooh, 571, I think. Yeah, that was it. All the doors had these wheels on them so they could be sealed in case a section of the ship got flooded or something, or maybe if people were attacking, it would be much more difficult to get to everywhere, or something like that. Oh, I get it. The doors also were in the center of the space, and the metal rose up from the floor and came down from the ceiling, so people had to step through them. Okay. But what about installing ramps on both sides of the bulkhead doors, huh? Doesn't that sound more effective? Like, easier for everybody?
Not really. First off, that base on the mountain is much larger than you're probably thinking it is in your mind. I've seen the exact specs for it. It's very considerable in size. And most of the sections are they're only 20 meters long, and that sounds like a lot. But trust me, that's a lot of doors in that one base. And besides that detail, and all of the work to install thousands of ramps up and down between each bulkhead, then you're impeding the movements of many hundreds of soldiers for the needs of just a few. Just a couple dozen at most. Which that number would increase over time, because it's very likely that this base is going to be a collection point for a lot of people that were injured in the war with the Sildarum, but still, the percentage is never going to be half of the base. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, so Cam is choosing to invent a spider-walking chair instead. So this way, he doesn't have to retrofit the entire base or even just the most used parts of it. And he can use parts of the chair to improve current piloting methods and technology. So that he can make the ships much more similar to the way Trike was flown, the more maneuverable and speedy, because Trike was just better than all the other ships around.
There's a little bit more to it that you're still not getting just yet, young Korvoth. You see, while developing this tech, Cam can also drastically enhance the capabilities of those who are now the heaviest burden to him and his forces. He can turn immobile soldiers, who can barely take care of themselves anymore, back into exploring, transporting, fighting-ready individuals. He'll probably need to develop several iterations of his tech before it's ready for field duty. But Cam's ordeal with the Zir and their insidious methods didn't destroy his most valuable asset: Cam's ability to imagine, design, and create. In many ways, I think the Zir made him so much smarter and more adaptable than he already was.
So the Zir did a good thing?
No, certainly not. Their goal isn't clear because it didn't occur, but we do know their process: warping Cam's mind and body to their own ends without asking permission.
That reminds me, what happened to Aslath? Is he okay? Huh, Lothran? Is he alright? What happened?
Well, from some of the missives and the codexes that I translated that were too long or muddled to include in the regular story, things that happened well after what we're perceiving and transferring over to the listeners to hear, Aslath was controlled through the factor needles by the Zir. In the tubes, the needles are protected in some way, but when you remove them, if you're close enough to a Zir, they can do something to mess with your mind. And Aslath is either dead like the Zir said that he was, or suggested that he might be, or fully transformed by the Zir and awaiting the time that they decide to use him against Cam and the others.
Oh my. It's very likely that second one. Yep, that sounds like a Zir thing.
Yes, it's very likely that second one.
So, what's next week going to be like? I mean, I translated the stories and such, but there's not a lot of things happening there. How are you going to make that stuff interesting?
Well, next week's going to lean a bit more towards design and planning in its arc. I'm aware that's not what happens in the story really, but no one wants to listen to endless meetings where nothing is decided and people argue about nonsense. So I'm shifting and borrowing here and there. We're going to move to a more active part of the story since we're not really missing anything, while also including key details from what we already have. That way we get info and excitement in the proper proportions.
You're a good storyteller, Lothran. You've been doing this for quite a while, haven't you?
I have more practice than most. Are you going to release a bonus video again?
I might. I have been working on some stuff on the side. There's a bunch of different topics I could cover. But I was thinking of doing a Javelin spec video. I like the ship spec videos. Those are good ones for me. They're very fun.
Sounds like a very good idea, since those craft are about to become widely used and highly coveted. Why don't you do the extra again, since you're so much better at it than me, alright, young jackal?
Yes, sir. I am the best at extras. That is a true fact. Good night and good luck, everyone. You'll need it. Remember to stay safe out there, and I'll do my best to get a bonus video out soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. See you again next week for another discussion. Bye-bye.